Hey guys, this is Karen. This is my response to some of the questions that Jeremy Thiel posted on his blog regarding Seth Godin's book, The Dip. I've actually read this book before. I read it earlier this year, but it's very appropriate for me to read it again right now because just about a little over 3 months ago, I left a 14-year career with the U.S. Air Force to become a full-time CrossFit gym owner and trainer. So I kind of left one of the biggest cul-de-sacs in my life to pursue my passion. So pushing through the dip is pretty important to me right now. So first question, what is the difference between an obstacle and a problem? The way I see it, an obstacle is something that is in our way, preventing us from getting to where we want to get to, but it's something that we cannot really change the very nature of. So perhaps for me it would be gender or race, or it could be a physical impairment, something that we're really not going to affect that thing itself. What we can do is find a way around it, find a way to work over it, work through it, whatever that may be, but the obstacle is not going to go away. It's just our response to it. An obstacle can become a problem, however, if we begin to define ourselves by our obstacles. And a lot of people do that. They seem to really embrace the obstacle and become the obstacle themselves, rather than finding a way to get around the obstacle. And that's where you run into problems. Problems are temporary things that we can work through, that we can remove, that we can dismantle, and find a way to get rid of in our lives. Quitting is the next subject. Is quitting wrong? How do you feel about quitting? I was raised a good Midwestern girl. Quitters never prosper. Those are the things we all heard growing up. I think it's important, though, and this is what Seth does in the book, is to reframe that, not so much from quitting the thing that you're doing, but focusing on the thing that's more important, that gets you to the place you want to be, that drives the passion that you're committed to. So if we look at it that way, kind of reframe it in the positive, then absolutely quitting's a good thing, and we all need to be looking at the things that we need to quit in order to help us get to where we want to be. Next question is, what dips have you seen in the past that you might not have been aware of? I think there are probably more dips than I could even tell you about. Anytime anybody quits something because somebody tells them that they can't do it, that they shouldn't do it, if you quit because you tell yourself that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, that's a dip. Maybe it was the right decision, maybe not. Maybe if you stuck with it, you would have gotten to the point where you would have seen the success and reaped the benefits of staying in that place. The important thing now is not to concentrate on the dips in the past, but look at the dips that we're facing right now and figure out how we're dealing with those dips. Next question, do you want to be the best in the world, and what would that take? Most people would look at that question and just knee-jerk reaction, of course I want to be the best in the world. But if you really focus down on it, I think the biggest thing that people miss is really defining what they want to be the best in the world at. So I can sit here and say, yeah, I want to be the best CrossFit trainer in the world, but in reality that's not true. I want to be the best at helping people live the life that they want to live. CrossFit is one means of getting to that point, and it's a very effective means. I think we know how important and how effective CrossFit is in not just changing people physically, but mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. So that's a big part of my plan to get to where I want to be. But if I just focus on being the best CrossFit trainer, I'm not going to get there. I need to be the best CrossFit trainer that's also the best communicator, the best connector, the best at finding the people that really can benefit from the help that I can give them. And that's where people, I think, make a mistake when they say, yes, I want to be the best in the world, is not really being able to define what they want to be the best at. Next question, what hard questions are you not asking? Probably for me, it's how much am I willing to put myself out there, put myself at risk in order to be the best in the world at what I want to do. Recording this video is one way I'm addressing that question. I'm very comfortable writing. I could write all day. I really like to write. I can express myself very well with a written word. That's not going to help me be the best at helping people achieve their dreams. I need to be able to talk to people. I need to be able to improvise. I'm okay going on camera as long as I'm very prepared and have rehearsed it. If I know the material, just sitting down, flipping on a camera, and running through these questions is very scary for me. But I need to do this. What does it look like to lean into the dip? I think that's when the idea of quitting or refocusing on your passion becomes even more important. That's when you need to really sacrifice, to really get rid of the excess in your life so that you can put all your energy towards that one thing that is your passion, and that's what's going to carry you through that dip. It can be very, very uncomfortable, but it can also be exhilarating, and that's what I'm experiencing right now as I've made this transition in my life. It's one of the most scary things I've ever done, but it's also the most alive I've felt in a long time. Am I in a real dip right now? Absolutely. Jeremy said it very well. We all go from dip to dip. It's how we deal with those dips, how we determine which ones are the ones that we should quit and which ones that we should push through. That's where the real wisdom comes in. I'm in a dip right now as I try to get my gym to the point where I'll be able to achieve the things I want to achieve. I'm committed to push through that dip, and it's been very scary, but like I said, it's also been one of the most exhilarating things I've done. Can we know if we're on a cliff? If we really step back and take an objective look at our life, I think we can. Unfortunately, I think society tries to keep us blind from the cliffs. And one of the biggest cliffs that we all face is one that society promotes, which is go to work for a good, stable company right out of high school, right out of college, work until you're 65, retire, and live the dream. I think most of us will stand back and say, oh yeah, that doesn't happen. But how many of us are taking the step to change that paradigm for our life? How many of us still subscribe to that because we don't know anything different? That's a cliff, and our society is built on cliffs like that. Seth talks a lot about that in his latest book, Linchpin. So again, that's one of the things that as a society we need to work on, as well as individually. Am I in a cul-de-sac now? I think I'm at a point where I've moved out of the biggest cul-de-sac of my life. When I left the Air Force, there was no way I was going to be the best in the world working for the Air Force. I don't know that you can ever be the best in the world civil servant. It seems like an oxymoron to me. So I feel like I'm at a point where I'm out of the biggest cul-de-sac that I've had to deal with. There's probably others that I need to look at and need to be willing to quit. So I'm always trying to drill down to where I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing to get where I need to be. And being part of this book club is going to be a big part of that. So I appreciate the opportunity. Look forward to talking with everybody, seeing everybody's response. And that's all I got. Good night from Montgomery, Alabama.